So, Mark and I were talking the other day, and we can't believe we've been in Thailand for over 2 years. Take away the couple of months we were in Vietnam, but it marks the longest period we've been in one place since we left the US in 2020. And we've really had a lot of time to reflect on our time here and just our time away from the United States. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about those reflections today. One of the things I want to talk about in this video is being retired. I didn't plan to retire when I did, and so I didn't really have my mindset for not working anymore. One minute I was going about my business, doing my job, and then the next I wasn't. So I didn't mentally prepare myself to be retired, and I really didn't have an idea of what that would look like for me. Now, Mark has been retired for years, and so he's already gone through this. What's my routine gonna look like? What am I gonna do to fill my days? How am I going to get past that feeling of thinking I should be doing something, because in our culture, that is what our culture pushes. So he already went through all of that, and I never really even thought about any of that. The only thing I ever thought about retirement and really seriously started thinking about it was back in 2015, when we were living in an apartment very close to the beach. And I remember there was a man who lived there, one of our neighbors. He was retired and he had lived there for years. I mean, 20 plus years, but he had to move away because he could no longer afford to live there. And I thought, you know what? That's what's going to happen to us. And I don't want to see us having to uproot where we're living, when we're 65, 70 years old because we cannot afford it. It just, that really shook me at that time. Now I think a little bit differently about it, because at that time I was thinking about, okay, where is our forever home going to be? Where are we going to end up where we can afford to live? And now my thinking on that is a little bit more loose, because there really are a lot of options around the world. But I remember that's really the only thing I thought about thinking about retirement, is affordability, really, because I just seeing someone have to move at that age when they couldn't afford to live where they loved. I mean, that really stuck with me. What I have personally struggled with over the last 4 years, really more so over the last 2 years here in Thailand, is because we really feel settled here in Thailand, is that we just don't have nearly as much income as we used to. And it's been a challenge for me to think in terms of less income when trying to plan activities, excursions, anything like that, because I'm just really overly worried about money because we have so much less than we used to. In reality, we're very fortunate that we are able to come here to Thailand and live a really nice life. Where I've had difficulty is I'm used to planning vacations. I'm used to needing vacations. I'm used to wanting those vacations to get a reprieve from regular life. And now regular life is like being on vacation all the time. It really is. And I'm going to talk about that in another video, vacation versus living, because I've talked about that in past videos and my mind's changed a little bit on that. But I don't need a vacation. I don't need to get away from anything. But at the same time, our travels in the past used to be quite extravagant, and we just can't afford to travel that way anymore. So we're really trying to get into this mindset to learn how to travel on a budget. And there really is a huge learning curve to it, but that's something we're really going to work on going forward, because we are in such a beautiful place, and instead of concentrating on what we can't do, which is what I get caught up on, I need to focus on what we can do. It's just breaking a lot of lifelong habits and just really learning to have a different mindset about so many things. So, yeah, if you guys couldn't tell, I'm one of those chronic worriers, and I do over worry about a lot of things. And that is something I continue to work on every day. Another thing we've really been able to think about while we're here in Thailand is just how shook we were coming from Portugal. Now, I've had people asking me if I was going to make a comparison video about Portugal to Thailand, and there really isn't any need to make that video. They are two completely different countries. People love Portugal, people love Thailand, and for us, obviously, Portugal didn't turn out to be the experience we had hoped for. We went there with the intentions to stay there, but it just really wasn't a good fit for us, so we left. And I just don't think we realize how stressed out we were there, because we are two people who are always going to try to make the best of any situation. And so I just don't think we realized the depth of how unhappy we were until we came here to Thailand and had a chance to thaw out a little bit. When we first got here to Bangkok, even though we had traveled here on vacation before, we were somewhat familiar with the city, but not really. And I think I just wanted to really get familiar with my surroundings, explore different parts of the city, and keep recording videos because I really enjoy making videos. But I think during that time, I just never stopped to take a breath, and we never really said, whew, we dodged a bullet with that Portugal. I think also looking back, our mindset was like, well, we don't want to make another mistake again. Not that Portugal was a mistake, but in hindsight, and when we talk to people that know us in real life, they were like, yeah, I didn't think you guys would like it there. Looking back now, when we arrived in Bangkok to now, how we feel just so differently and so at ease. And we didn't have time to really acknowledge those feelings of, I don't want to say loss, but just how that whole Portugal experience affected us. I just don't think we realized at the time how insecure we were feeling when we arrived here in Bangkok after that experience in Portugal. I think we were like, well, what if this doesn't work out? But not to the point thinking that it wouldn't, because we already knew that we loved Thailand from traveling here. But it was more like we just wanted to be still, breathe, and get some time here under our belt, because like I said, the amount of insecurity that we felt after living there, thinking about it now, it was real. But as we went through it during the time, we were just like, oh, business as usual. Let's go to a new place, get ourselves set up, and get on with living. I know a lot of you that watch our videos are either thinking about moving abroad or are already moving abroad. You're living abroad, but you want to change locations. Whatever the reason is, just really be nice to yourself and give yourself time, because it really is a different experience for everyone, and you can't really expect everything to fall into place quickly. be mindful that however your journey goes, whatever you do, whatever works out, whatever doesn't work out, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Now, we've been here, like I said, for over 2 years, and we've always been late bloomers, Mark and I. That's something that we both have in common. And now, just now, we're really feeling comfortable enough to get outside of our comfort zone, start exploring more of this country, and we really hope to do that in the future. We love having Bangkok as our home base. There's so many beautiful places to explore here in Thailand, and we hope to start exploring them slowly. So when you get out there and you start out on your move abroad adventure, just be nice to yourself. Just enjoy everything that comes along with it. Don't think you have to have everything set the minute you get out there. There are lots of ways to live, and part of the excitement is trying to figure out what is the best way for you. I mean, we know how to live in our old life, right? We've all done that for so long, and it's just a pleasant surprise when you're going through this and you're figuring out ways to live in your new life. So, as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I always appreciate your comments. So, let me know your thoughts about this. Always interested to hear, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.